anything that you don't get to say will be added to the chapter of your book, and it can always be added to the comments. So,
So yes, sir.
Bieber, I met at Rock Your Life. I've met him at many, many events. He keeps his smile, his wackiness, and we've broken bread together, had drinks together, and I've just always really enjoyed the fact that he has taught me you can never have too much bacon on your plate. So this man eats two.
Not my book, but I'm going to go ahead and publicize it.
All right, well, it's all yours, Stephen. Enjoy.
Okay, so where were we? We were at my life story. So why it's important to take vacations every year, and I'll give you a 2-minute version of my life story. I don't look it, but I'm nothing more than a country boy. My grandma lived 2 ranches away from the #1 horse trainer in Oklahoma, and I can literally remember riding horses when I was 2 years old, falling off a horse, and this horse was about as high as the ceiling that you guys have got, maybe about twice as high wherever you're at. At 2 years old, it looked that way to me anyway. So I fell off the horse. He goes, "We fall off a horse, you got to get back on." And I'm like, "I don't want to get on the horsey. I don't want to get on the horsey." He put me back on the horses. Years later, I was breaking Arabians. We had a horse ranch for a while, and so, but I had 3 businesses at one time, and that's the good news. I never had to look at the right side of the menu. My kids learned to eat off the menu. They could order what they want as long as it was something new and different. They didn't like it, they get to do with their old mac and cheese or whatever they wanted. So it was life was good on that level. But here's the bad news. Back in the 80s, 90s, we had this thing in America called "we're Americans. We work harder than everybody else," and I bought into that. So I cannot remember. I remember going to my first son's first t-ball practice. That's all I can remember. I don't know whether he hit the ball, if he threw anybody out. I don't even know if they had a winning or losing season. So we had 4 vacations in over 18 years. That's it. So I really missed out. And I can't ask my kids to be 2, 3, and 5 again, right? You just can't do that. So this whole brand of mine is TMV, take more vacations. Life isn't about remembering all the people that you help make more money and or whatever. It's about enjoying the time with friends, family, those special events. And happiness is something that's fleeting. It's not there. We live a life of gray. People don't realize it's not like the movies, bad, good, bad, good. It's gray, and then there's some happiness in there. So, but a smile, this is their genius, a smile every day. And so, because of you, I actually changed kind of the brand a little bit, not really. But when people ask me why I wear this all the time, it's because I get a smile every day, no matter what. If I walk outside or I'm doing a Zoom, I get a smile every day. So and a smile doesn't cost you anything, but it gives you a huge hug result. So so how to take 6 vacations a year, no matter your financial or time constraints. First of all, when I say why vacations, all right. So let's go back. I'm just going to do one more little thing. A Olympian coach has a problem with their Olympians, and it's not to work out. An Olympian coach, they are dialed in, they're workaholics when it comes to getting in shape and doing. The problem is the person that worked out the most isn't the one that wins the race. The person that wins the race is the one that's got the most in the gas tank. It's refreshed and ready to go when the gun goes off, right? So that's the thing about vacations. The more vacations you take, the more you come back ready to hit it and go. And so you can do more vacations and more fun and live life for what it's worth, right? You don't want to, you just want more vacations. So when I say vacations, everybody says, "Well, I don't have time," because you're thinking of the super vacations. That's 4 nights away in a row, away from your home. All right, so 4 nights, no cooking, no cleaning. Usually like a cruise, or maybe you go to a town or a city like New York or wherever, France or whatever. At least 4 nights away. That's a super vacation. Usually around $2,000 to $20,000, depending on how many you're taking and what you're doing. So yeah, okay, so that one's a tough one. So then I came up with regular vacations. 2 nights. All it is 2 nights in a row, gone. So you can leave on Friday, come back on Sunday. Oh, and that's usually anywhere from $500 to $2,000. Maybe it depends on where you're going. You could go to go spend as much as you want, 5 or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Money's not a problem. It's the time. Then you got what we call a mini vacation. A mini vacation, you're gone 1 night, no cooking, no cleaning. You go to the Ramada. and you just go down and go to the here in Texas we got the Galleria. It's a big mall, it's fancy and all that kind of stuff. And even if you don't have the money, you can go window shopping. You can start dreaming, right? And so you got that. And then I was at having my hair cut, looking pretty now. Get my hair cut, and my hairdresser's like, "Well, I don't have time for that because I go to school full time, I work full time, and I have a full time job with my family. I don't have time to do any of that." So what I'm known for is the change agent, and it's more about me changing than anybody else, but I help other people change. And so on the spur, because that's where I'm really great, is when you hit me with a problem, I'll come up with stuff. And I'm like, well, what about a micro vacation? I didn't even know what I was talking about at that time. I just said it. It was this micro vacation. What's that? And I'm like, oh, a micro vacation. And then it came to me. Have you ever been to Painting with a Twist? It's a place where you can go and you can drink. By the way, I don't drink. So when he said we had drinks, it wasn't alcohol. But anyway, uh, but we go there, you can drink. There's pottery places where you can go and you can spend an hour or two with your friends, your family, or just by yourself. You want to just veg out and you can make pottery. As a matter of fact, Vinny Chopra is going to be on earlier. He gave me, there's another elephant up there, but elephant is my animal strength. But this was a pottery thing that we did. It's just a little thing, but it's cool. But anyway, spent time with a couple of my kids, my wife, and it was just great. And so that micro vacation you can do. Now, here's the thing. Everybody says, well, I just don't have to. Well, everybody has time to spend too. You could just go out and watch the sunset. All right? Just watch the sunset or the sunrise. Start the day off with that. Right? I had a mentor once. That was his main thing. How many could he do in a year? Right? That was his thing. So maybe you are busy, which is bad in my business. You should be productive, not busy. Think about it for a second, but we're not going to get into that. But you want to be productive. So when you're taking your vacations, maybe you can only do, and every other month is what I'm saying. Come on. An hour or two every other month, or just outside to watch the dang sunrise or sunset, or spend out, take the day out at the moon and go sit on a bench and eat, right? Whatever. Did I say moon? Anyway, doesn't matter. So you go out there, you spend that time, and maybe you only do 6 micro vacations your first year. Guess what? You just did vacations, and you're in that loop where now you're saying, hey, I did actually do a vacation. And so, especially if you're married and you do 2 or 3 of these, the wife or the husband is going to go, why don't we do a regular vacation or a mini vacation? Just get out of the house and take the kids, or just us, you and I go on a date, right? And then you do 2 or 3 of those, and it's like, well, why don't we just do a regular vacation, spend 2 nights out? And then why aren't we saving for a super vacation? It's $2,000, it's $5,000. Great, save $100 a month. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 years. You've got a goal. And what happens when you start making goals like that, you start putting more and more money in the kitty because you've done these micro, mini, and regular vacations. You know how much fun it's going to be. By the way, cruises are the best, in my opinion. Although Aruba was really pretty good. But anyway, I regress. So I've got 5 minutes. And so all you got to do is you got to make your first plan. Just plan a vacation. Do a micro vacation. Don't do anything crazy. Just say, where can I go? And oh, my wife's got him in the living room. I'm not going to run out to get him. But there's these books that you can. We went on a date because there's this date book that we have, and it says go to a small town and go to its restaurant. We found this place called Cowboys in Crum, Texas. I mean, population, if it had 1,000, it's got too many. And it's got like a little half a block at the most of the downtown town. We've gone to that place numerous times now. Super great. Last weekend, we did another micro vacation. We went to Zoosfaria, a place where basically it's just a bunch of deer and antelope. It had some giraffes and rhinoceros and stuff, but we just drove around for an hour and a half. Took us an hour and a half to get there. We talked while we were in the car. So there you have it. Ken,
Well,
if you've got any questions, anybody's got any questions, or if you want to talk or add to, take
well, I
away,
do. I
whatever.
do. I want to acknowledge you for how important your message is and how many smiles do get generated and how many smiles that you'll increase after you get back. First of all, St. Augustine's one of my favorite quotes of all time. He says, the world is a book and those that don't travel only see one page. So you're cheating yourself out of seeing really life and also connecting with humanity. And I think that the way to eradicate discrimination is to travel. If you travel, you'll never have an issue with being
That's so true.
Yes. So I just want to acknowledge you for a couple of things. One, that is a very important message. Number two, if you have been to some cool places, put in the chat where you've been so that Steve, when he exits, he can see all the cool places you've been. And then ask, and then he got a book. Steve,
Aruba.
you got a
I've
couple
got a
books.
lot of books.
Why
My
don't you
first
show,
book
why
was
don't you
in
show one or two of
93.
them? And then the other thing I want to acknowledge you
You
for,
Are What You Have It.
yes.
That was in 93.
Yeah, you got a couple. Go ahead and show a couple more. You sent a couple to me.
Well, I'm going to show you my favorite one that I give away.
Yes.
It's called the 7 Steps to Finding Your Perfect Avatar. Get your raving fans to find you. I've got that one. Usually, when you see me in an event, I have 3 in my pocket, so
Yes.
you can get
Are
that. But
you
I'll tell
giving
you the
those?
book that.
You're giving those away digitally, or all these
Yeah,
books?
I get those are give those away digitally. Absolutely. TMV Stephen Beaver with Stephen with a V on any social media, but the best one is LinkedIn. But I'm going to tell you, this is not my book. It's over 100 years old. There's no copyright laws on it because it's 100 years old. Message to Garcia is what every one of my clients, my friends, my family start with. It's basically about taking ownership. I'll give that part away, but it is an amazing book, and I would highly advise that. And I'll tell you, this this guy we had you introduced us. He's got 3 books. This is his books are like the new blue ocean, even though they're basically at the same time. But if you haven't read his books and you've read Blue Ocean, you should read his books. He's going to back it up. He's going to have different things. It's really it's. I'll just
And by the way, if
hopefully
you
he's
haven't,
going to be. Is he going to be on?
unfortunately, he was not able to be here this weekend, but we're
Oh,
going to
good. Then I plugged him, so at least he got plugged.
get plugged.
Right?
And by the way, if you haven't read Blue Ocean, just think of this as Bacon Ocean. I mean, this is the real
Yeah.
stuff. Hey, I want to acknowledge one other part that you said that was it was a really big epiphany for me. Is using the word busy is BS. It is a baloney word. It doesn't have any, you have no control. When you shift to using productive instead of busy, you start thinking about priorities and you start thinking everyone that's important will always fit in my life. I've had people say, Ken, I know you're so busy. I know I can't get on your schedule. I go, no, you're important. You can get on my schedule tomorrow. Maybe not today, but tomorrow, because I leave hours, and I recommend anyone that wants to increase smiles in their life, take 2 hours out of your day and leave it open for people that call you and they really need to speak to you. So you have some great advice for people. Thank you for sharing all this. We have one more minute. Is you've already shared how you can reach people. I don't see any questions, but I see some amazing places. Where's your favorite place you've been, Stephen?
Actually, the last one was Aruba. This is where I got the water bottle. We got to go out and go deep sea fishing. We brought the fish in, and like a half a block on the beach was a restaurant that got to cook the fish. Also, Aruba has literally, and I use this word a lot, but the best chocolate cake ever there. I think it's the humidity. It's so thick and deep. My name is Steven. I'm a chocoholic. And if you can say, hey, I'm a chocoholic too, and I do 2 kisses a day to curb my thing. No, 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 no. The whole bag is gone. If it's here, there's a reason we don't have chocolate in the house because
Well,
we
thank
won't
you,
have chocolate
Stephen.
in the house.
Thank you. Your time is up. Unfortunately, I know you have lots to say. So, there anybody that wants to connect with Stephen, highly encourage it. He'll open up your mind to what you can do with your time to explore the world.